But when it comes to social media and spending time online, I do recommend that you maybe consume more long format videos instead of just scrolling. Subscribe to my channel, by the way. I do long format content and I talk on camera and give you good advice. So please subscribe to my channel right now. Please, thank you very much. Also like this video, share it with your loved ones. Back to the video. Hello you guys and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. And in today's video I want to talk to you about spiritual hygiene, how to protect your energy, how to replenish your energy. So I wanted to talk to you about spiritual hygiene because I think it's extremely important to take care of your spirit, take care of your soul, take care of your mind, take care of your body, of course. And I do talk about all these things, but spiritual hygiene is specifically important, especially because we have obviously social media nowadays and lots of people habitually scroll for hours every single day, and that results in you definitely like getting extra unwanted energy attached to you at all times. So it's important to take care of that, like take care of yourself and to kind of cleanse your energy, if you will. But first, let's talk about your circle. You have got to do an audit of your circle, of the people that you allow access to you on a regular basis. It's, of course, your family and friends, the people that you talk to a lot, basically. And I especially want you to focus on your friends, the people that you specifically choose and allow to be in your life and, maybe spend a lot of time with, share information about yourself with, and, all those kind of things. And again, I believe I already talked about this before in some of the previous videos, but your friends and generally like your relationships, your personal relationships are the people that you yourself have the power to choose in your life, like this is not something that is assigned to you by the government or by your family. And you have the power to choose who you allow into your life and into your like close circle, into your mind, into your thoughts, and people that you share information with, and people you trust. So make sure that you choose wisely and that you do not choose people who have bad intentions to be around you, basically. So do an audit of your circle. Let me tell you something as well. This is important. Sometimes you might feel like you have really good friends who are really nice people. I don't really like the word nice, to be honest with you, because it's not very genuine to me, or more like the vibe of the word. And the people who call themselves nice is just not very genuine a lot of the times. I feel like it's kind of performative. There's something that, is just not very pure. When people say they're nice or describe someone as nice, it's almost like they are putting on a front, which is not necessarily a bad thing. Like, we all want to be liked by other people, to some extent at least. But, I don't know. Anyways, sometimes the people around you can actually be quite lovely. Like, there can be absolutely nothing wrong with them on the surface, right? Like, they are being nice to you. Once again, they are being kind, they're being considerate, they're being understanding, they are being sweet, and all those things. Like, they listen to you, they maybe give you some good advice, and that kind of stuff. However, I want you to pay close attention to how you feel after you interact with those people. And I don't ever say that you should be cutting people off necessarily completely. That just depends on you and depends on your preferences. And I feel like you should have a choice in that matter. You can just kind of restrict access to maybe more personal information about yourself. Yeah, and just kind of generally be a little bit more picky. But yes, pay very close attention to how you feel when you are about to meet those people, and especially during your interactions and afterwards. So I have this example specifically from, I want to say, oh my gosh, I have a couple of examples too. They're quite different. They're quite different, but I want to talk to you about both of them. So yes, I'm a sensitive person. I'm also an introvert. So I feel like feeling my feelings and connecting to my energy is like not particularly hard for me. I am in touch with myself, and I do pay attention to how I feel and to how I feel after different interactions with people. I'm very, very mindful of that. I'm very, very picky. So here are a couple of examples to you from years ago of two different people and how I kind of knew that these are not maybe the best people for me personally to be around. Okay, mind you, these people were not bad people at all. They were not mean. They were not mean spirited. They were never rude to me. They were never like, there was never anything about them that would let me know that they are like not good for me to be friends with, basically. Anyway, so one of those examples happened many years ago, and it was a person who was absolutely wonderful, and I did enjoy spending time with them. However, I do remember after a few hours, I started feeling extremely, extremely drained. This is just what I noticed. And I knew that my boundaries were not very good at the time. They were really, really not good at the time at all. So I knew that what would be ideal for me at the time would be to say, listen, I've got to go now. Like I have got to, I gotta leave now, basically, right? Not in a mean way, once again, but just to kind of, again, take care of myself in that situation and know that I clocked that I spent all of my energy very, very, very quickly, and it was time for me to just like go home and replenish my energy, like spend time with myself and just rest, basically, right? Nothing criminal about that. I did not make that choice. That's my mistake. And I spent a few more hours there. And by the end of that meeting, I felt so completely drained. I ended up getting quite sick by the end of the day. And I ended up being sick for about a week after that, and it was pretty bad, to be honest with you. This is something that can happen to you when you are really, really drained, when you exhaust yourself, when you like burn out. And I remember feeling kind of confused about that because that kind of thing never happened to me before. And I had no idea that you can just like burn out and just completely spend all of your energy and feel so drained and exhausted within just one day. That kind of thing never happened to me before, so I was really confused. But in retrospect, thinking about this now, and I thought about this many times already in the past, that is also a sign. And this is not to put any blame on that person whatsoever. This has absolutely nothing to do with them partially. Like, it was my responsibility to take care of myself and to take care of my energy and to set a boundary and not even be mean about that at all, but just like take a rain check, just go home earlier or something like that. I didn't do that. However, this is still an important thing because it does not happen with all interactions. I can spend a whole day with some other people and feel wonderful and amazing and not feel like I'm drained and exhausted. This is not to attack anyone whatsoever. This is for you to pay attention to how you feel after you talk to different people and your spiritual hygiene. You never know anyone's intentions, and they might not even necessarily be bad. This might be just something that a person is dealing with, again, personally, that they maybe not sharing with you, or something that they might not even be aware of. This is not necessarily any of your business, to be honest with you, but we want to take care of ourselves here and not to drain our resources, because when we are drained, we also cannot help ourselves and we cannot help other people also. So this is also about your boundaries, but I do not want you to blame anybody here in a situation like this, especially when someone is actually putting an effort into being considerate towards you. This is for you to think about, to set boundaries and to just like take a note of, basically. Another example that happened was also a few years ago, was when I met with a person and I didn't spend a whole day with that person. That would be honestly ridiculous. But I did spend a few hours with them, and it was also very interesting and notable to me because that kind of thing just never happened to me before either, which is exactly what makes these two examples so notable to me personally. It's like so remarkable because that person, what happened is that the person was also really nice to me and really lovely, and like everything was completely fine. However, That person did not ask me a single question about me. Yes. Which was really interesting. I was asking that person things about themselves, about their lives, because we hadn't met in a few years, basically, and in quite a few years, actually. And I was only asked to, I think, one thing about. No, actually, I wasn't asked anything at all. I just volunteered that information. I just talked about what I was doing at the time. And besides that, like, I did not get like any interest in me personally whatsoever. And at some point it started to pretty soon, actually, it started to just be kind of weird. And I was just wondering how are we going to continue with this conversation when I'm asking you and you are responding to me, but you do not ever ask me, well, what about you? I ended up sharing something important that happened to me over the years that we did not spend together and did not like catch up. And oh my God, this is ridiculous. And the person just kind of ignored that. And it was like a major life update type of a situation. So that was interesting. And again, this is why I'm telling you to do an audit of your circle, because this person was not mean. That person didn't say anything rude to me. That person was not like doing anything bad, but at the same time I felt completely not included in the conversation and like not interested in, you know. And I didn't feel drained after that conversation, or more like an interview. Like, well, it wasn't an interview because I was like talking about myself a little bit also, but I was not really asked anything. And that kind of stuff. Anyways, this is just also for you to understand that if you are feeling confused after spending time with someone and you're not sure if the person even likes you or not, if that person is even interested in you as a friend at all, if they even see you the same way that you see them, that is also a sign for you to take a mental note of and to maybe take some action and maybe see that person less often. And I don't know, this is extremely personal to everybody, but this does affect how you feel, and it does affect kind of your state of mind to some extent. And especially if you are the kind of person who is if you mean well, and if you are trying maybe to be a little too nice to people, if you're scared to cut people off, if you're scared to like set boundaries and stuff like that, and you actually do spend a lot of time with people like this on a regular basis, you're just ending up draining yourself, because these situations happen to me so extremely rarely that I shared them with you. Like, I'm sure there were some others, but like just don't come to mind because they were not quite as notable. But they definitely were, yeah. Like they were not that notable. I might share them some other times, but that's like everybody has those. And these specific ones were just so outstanding to me. Note how you feel around other people. Note how people treat you. Understand that it does affect you and it does drain you. Okay? It's about your body, mind, spirit, your mental health. We're talking about spiritual hygiene. Still, I do remember that. So this is what I want to talk to you about in terms of specific cases and examples. Yes, now let's talk about how do we replenish our energy and take care of it and make sure that we are feeling good and that we are sort of like full of light. It's a very spiritual video today, but it's like also about your mental health. It's because these things are very much interconnected. So yeah. Okay, so number one, you meditate. Wow, who is surprised? You do meditations, especially meditations that focus on your energy and focus on like imagining a white light and like a bowl of light that goes through your body. Also, God, I forgot what it's called, but it's a type of meditation when you focus on like different parts of your body from head to toe and notice how you feel and focus on relaxing your whole body, basically. Those kinds of things. You can do this by yourself. You can turn on some music for meditation. You can also do some guided meditations, but it does genuinely help to replenish you and to relax you both, all right? Especially if you do this on a regular basis, especially if you do this every day or even any other day, doesn't really matter, but it is really, really helpful. Well, okay, I also put here offline activities, and that kind of goes without saying. Any type of activity that does not involve being online, anything that brings you joy, anything that takes you outside, really, like going on a walk, going on a hike, going cycling, you know, anything like that, really. Going outside, getting out of your house, and not being on your phone is fantastic. Especially honestly, anything that has to do with spending time in the nature. Simple things like going on a walk, going on a picnic. It's maybe less simple, especially harder to do in the winter, but stuff like that, like hugging trees and stuff like that, is definitely going to be in that category, whether you believe that or not, but it can be really helpful. Now, I'm not saying you should completely get offline and not be online at all, but when it comes to social media and spending time online, I do recommend that you maybe consume more long format videos instead of just scrolling. Subscribe to my channel, by the way. I do long format content and I talk on camera and I give you good advice. So please subscribe to my channel right now. Please, thank you very much. Also like this video, share it with your loved ones. Back to the video. Scrolling is bad spiritual hygiene, especially if you're scrolling and consuming lots of reels or lots of TikToks, lots of short format videos where you basically see a lot of people and they are in different states of mind. We already talked about how this is not good for your brain, how it can be pretty damaging for your brain for like memory formation, stuff like that. But this is also bad spiritual hygiene because you kind of like have very, very different kinds of energy attached to you from bazillion different people online, and you're not even registering. Your brain doesn't even know how to sort that information out and what to do with it because this information has no use. It simply has no use, but you keep consuming it because you're addicted to it. So I strongly recommend that you consume more long format content from the content creators that you like, from people that inspire you, something maybe a little bit more calming and inspiring in general. And also obviously because you will spend a longer period of time with like one content creator, like one specific person, rather than a ton of different people. Okay, there's another thing is obviously establish boundaries. Establish boundaries is extremely important in any and all situations and circumstances and different kinds of relationships. It's extremely relevant at all times. I keep talking about this all the time, but do establish boundaries, because even if you do not want to cut someone off completely, it's still important that you take care of yourself and you know when to say, it's time for me to take a break. It's time for me to go home and spend time with myself. So yes, work on your boundaries. Okay, this final point that I think is extremely, extremely important is that you spend time by yourself and that you create your own space with the things that you love, and the space where you can kind of like soak in your own energy and get inspired and replenish your energy, basically. So it can be your room, right? It can be just a corner in a room if you do not have your own personal space completely, like you don't have your own room, for example, which happens, and that's okay, but do make sure that you have at least like a corner that is your own, where you have like some things that you love, maybe the books that you love, maybe CDs, I don't know, maybe like some stuff that really inspires you, some coffee table books, some magazines, like your journal, some of the personal things that inspire you, and a space where you can spend time by yourself and enjoy basically like your hobbies. They don't have to be offline hobbies, by the way. Like I made a little list for you of things that you can do, just like little examples. Mostly inspired by like stuff that I would do and do. You can spend time on Pinterest, getting inspired and kind of enriching your energy in that kind of way. Journaling, I mean, obviously, come on. Listening to music, watch films, stuff like that. A space for you to do your own things and basically like include whatever else that you like doing, like crocheting or like knitting or painting, maybe writing music and stuff like that, maybe writing poetry, whatever it is that you enjoy that actually brings you joy, where a space where you can be in your own energy and like really enjoy it and like get inspired and once again enrich your energy. I already said it a few times, but the point still stands. Anyways, that's it for today's video. Thank you very much, you guys, for watching this video. I really hope you liked it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. How do you enrich your energy? How do you have any practices to like replenish your energy and relax by yourself? Maybe you don't like relaxing by yourself. Like, what do you do that actually brings you joy? And have you made an audit of your friendships and like your relationships in general, and how do you feel about those? Yes, let me know in the comments. Please like this video, subscribe to my channel like I already said before. That would help my channel tremendously. So I would be really grateful if you do that. And thank you very much once again. I will see you in the next one.